Guinea-Bissau has been thrown into yet another period of uncertainty. This after the military seized control in the aftermath of a disputed election, with tensions rising over the fate of opposition presidential candidate Fernando Dias. In a significant diplomatic move, Nigeria has now stepped forward, offering protection to Dias, a gesture that underscores Abuja's growing concern about democratic backsliding in the region. ECOWAS, already under pressure following coups in the Sahel, is demanding the release of verified election results and a swift return to constitutional order. To help us understand the seriousness of this moment, Nigeria's strategic calculations, and what it all means for West Africa, we're now joined by Channel Africa's Nigeria correspondent, Jonathan James Lyamgohn. Jonathan, always good to talk to you. Thanks so much indeed for joining us.
Good morning, Peter, and nice to talk to you too.
So, what is Abuja's position on what's happening in Guinea-Bissau?
Well, based on what we have at the last take, the Nigeria's Minister for Foreign Affairs had written to ECOWAS and letting the West African States Commission leader, that's Omar Toure, to know that Nigeria has decided that the presidential candidate, that's the opposition candidate, Fernando Dias da Costa, that Nigeria, having assessed that his life has come under threat, given certain things that have happened following the what Nigeria now refers to as a fake coup. It has decided to grant him asylum in Nigeria's foreign mission or at the Nigeria embassy in Bissau. Now, this didn't just happen without a precedence or without certain things. Nigeria's former president, Goodluck Jonathan, who was on a team of ECOWAS observer mission during the elections and was even said to have been stranded following the cancellation of the elections by the military, returned to Nigeria and went to brief President Tinubu about the situation. And it is strongly believed that the decision by Nigeria has come following President Goodluck Jonathan's briefing to President Tinubu. Now, after President Goodluck Jonathan visited President Tinubu, he briefly spoke with the media and he maintained his stand, something he had said even previously, that he is very convinced that that coup was shambolic. It's a sham in itself because the immediate president, Mbalo, was the first person to announce that coup via his phone before the military. So President Goodluck Jonathan believes that the immediate president, Umaru Mbalo, he's kind of complicit in what he calls a fake coup. And Nigeria, having suffered some of the issues it suffered when it took a rash position following the Niger coup and the coup in Mali and the Burkina Faso. I think what we have seen now is that Nigeria is being very calculating, not in a hurry to make very tough statements, considering that it couldn't walk the talk the last time. So that is the situation on ground, Peter.
So, what is Fernando Dias being offered by Nigeria at this time?
In the first instance, Nigeria, in the letter that Nigeria has written to ECOWAS, it has offered him asylum in Nigeria's mission in Guinea-Bissau. But from the feelers that we have, what will most likely follow is that there will be a negotiated exit. Because you will recall that in the case of Niger, because Nigeria believes that because it didn't react quickly and because it trusted that the coup plotters were going to release the former president, it didn't take this kind of measure. However, A while since, like over 2 years since that coup, the former president is still being held in Niger and hasn't been allowed to leave. And Nigeria is taking measures to ensure that this doesn't happen in the case of Guinea-Bissau. But a lot of observers now say it remains to be seen how Diaz the cost is going to leave the country. While given diplomatic immunity, he can be able to stay in Nigeria's foreign mission. For him to be extracted out of the country, it will require a significant negotiation between Nigeria, ECOWAS, and the military of that country. Peter?
All right, so I guess people might be asking themselves why Nigeria is stepping in so assertively in this moment. Is it much to do with President Tinubu's broader priorities for democracy across the region, stability across the region? And you did mention earlier on, little was done when it was Niger, Burkina Faso, and Niger, right?
Yes. I mean, well, it's a mixed set of reasons. First and foremost, President Tinubu is still reeling from the punch to his nose following those coups, and you will recall that his words were quick and they were firm. But the results that followed proved to be otherwise. Many believe that he was very uh, like very ashamed of how that situation panned out. And he doesn't want to walk that path anymore. Nigeria has positioned itself over the years as the leader in West Africa and as the bastion of democratic stability, having itself enjoyed an uninterrupted democracy since 1999. So almost 30 years of uninterrupted democracy in Nigeria, and believing that any and everything that happens in the West Africa sub should fall within the ethos and the principles that ECOWAS holds itself accountable. Now, you'd also recall that President Tinubu had held the ECOWAS chairmanship for 2 years before he recently ended his term. And many believe that all of this form a basis for that. And Nigeria is a believer that once all of these things keep persisting, then the case of Mickey Mouse copycat scenarios that we're recording now will continue. And in itself, remember that Nigeria in itself, only a couple of weeks ago or months, was embroiled in military coup scare. Some even say two coups were said to have been botched and twatted in Nigeria. And doing this is a way of sending a message that not in Nigeria, not around Nigeria, will Nigeria tolerate the carrying out of coups. Peter?
Has Guinea-Bissau responded at all to this move to offer sanctuary for Diaz?
We have not heard a word from the military junta that has assumed power in Guinea-Bissau yet, but we believe also from what we've seen that Guinea-Bissau doesn't have so much on its side, and it will. Some international scholars say it will certainly be wise for Guinea-Bissau to take the path being offered it, given many things that don't work in its favor. Unlike the case of Niger, Guinea-Bissau, for instance, is a much smaller. It's a much smaller country. Guinea-Bissau has a population that averages just about 2 million. And in the event of the mobilization of a West Africa force, Guinea-Bissau does not stand a chance. It is a smaller geographic entity, and it will not pose a problem. So many believe that Guinea-Bissau, unlike Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, will allow for this opposition leader to lead, because that pays the military more than assuming a different path. However, what we have also seen in the case of those other West African states that have got the way of military coups is that they have ended up bonding together. so much that they even exited ECOWAS and other took other economic and political decisions. So it is still being observed to see. But the case of Guinea-Bissau is also further compounded by the fact that while the other countries that have participated in coups and are now in under military rule, they are francophone speaking nations. In the case of Guinea-Bissau, it is a Lusophone nation where Portuguese is the language, the official language being spoken there. That further makes its case different. So it is still being waited with bated breath to hear what the military will likely say today. Peter?
What what do we know about Fernando Dias? I mean, what he represents politically within Guinea-Bissau, that his safety is seen as so central to the legitimacy of the electoral process there.
Considering that Guinea-Bissau isn't a nation that typically would feature in major news headlines from day to day, quite frankly, not so much. My following of the elections in Guinea-Bissau was much more heightened when former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan was part of the team that went to cover the election. So once he was there, there was a lot more attention, and I started following much more. But he essentially is a relatively not there's no much to him, but he has been an opposition fellow for a while, and his popularity really soared following what many Guineans or citizens of Guinea-Bissau said was the lackluster performance of the immediate president, Omaro Embalo, who didn't do much and wanted to return back into power by all means. And the citizens, as a show of not being on the side of the former president, put all of their support in favor of the opposition candidate, Diaz da Costa. And as a result, it was believed that he was leading the elections from all of the results that had come from the different areas in the country. While the final result itself was yet to be announced, it is believed that all of the evidence had shown that he was going to win. And given that the immediate president, Mbalo, didn't want that, it is now believed that he worked in cahoots with the military to thwart the election. Peter?
Is there a genuine fear that, I mean, you mentioned it a short while ago about maybe copycat coups taking place, but is there a genuine fear that this current Guinea-Bissau crisis could disrupt regional states, regional cooperation, and maybe even security, trade, or movement of people?
Well, now in answering that, I'd say when you look at the trend, there is a strong fear that is genuine about it. When you look at what happened once Mali, the coup happened in Mali, remember that first of all, there was actually in the other Guinea, which is Guinea Conakry, there had been some issues as well. Then we had Burkina Faso, then we had Mali, and then Niger. And what many have seen is that this has continued to spiral out of what seems to be an out of control situation. And it is feared that letting this happen is going to add the headcount to four, the countries in what could be said to have been used to be the ECOWAS bloc. And this then further means that should they continue to be, let me use the word now, disturbed, they will exit ECOWAS as the precedence has been set by these other three nations. Now, this situation is certainly going to weaken the ECOWAS bloc. Many believe that ECOWAS, during its 50th anniversary earlier this year, many believe the analysis we heard from many people was how ECOWAS in itself has failed to live up to its own mandate, to its own objectives when it was formed 50 years ago. And with such things, it is seen that this will further weaken it. And it is believed that that is why ECOWAS is leaving no stone unturned in wanting to ensure that this situation is arrested and this coup is reversed. But whether that will happen is left to be seen, because ECOWAS in itself lacks neither the capacity to mobilize the military nor the political clout to be able to apply punitive measures or sanctions that will make a country not suffer.
This offer of protection for Diaz by Nigeria, do you think that this has happened under the umbrella of ECOWAS, or is Nigeria acting alone here?
From what we've seen, Nigeria in this particular occasion has is working on very measured, is working measured steps, because we saw Nigeria's minister, the letter that emanated out of Abuja yesterday didn't go to the coup plotters in Guinea, but went to the ECOWAS commission, which is in Abuja as well. So literally, it was just a case of a short dispatch. And what Nigeria has done is to speak as Nigeria, but to also speak via ECOWAS, signaling that in the event that ECOWAS isn't able to do much, Nigeria itself may seek to pursue its own stance. Now, admitting Diaz da Costa in Nigeria's High Commission, of course, instantly makes Nigeria his host. But the nature of also how the missions also operate is within the ECOWAS, when you are also the mission to any particular country, you also represent Nigeria's interest in ECOWAS in that country. So a liaison always operates between the country and the ECOWAS operation that is stationed in that country. So what we see now is Nigeria walking the path of being Nigeria and walking the path of cooperation with ECOWAS.
Jonathan, that's where we're going to leave it. Thanks so much indeed for that comprehensive update. Always good talking to you.
Always nice. Same here, Peter. Have a nice day.
Take care. That was Jonathan James Lyamgohn, who's Channel Africa's correspondent in Nigeria, speaking to us about this offer of sanctuary by Nigeria to somebody in Guinea-Bissau who is looking like, if these election results do get announced, might actually be the new leader of the country. But as you can imagine, with this military coup, whether it's true or not, I mean a real one or not, there are forces that don't want him to take up that leadership position, and Nigeria is concerned for his safety. Yeah.